and ESPN Plus. Let's now welcome to the ring our main event participants. First, the challenger, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce. And now let's welcome to the ring the defending champion, Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
And absorbing every single moment. And it's time now for the formal introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the British, Commonwealth, and vacant European Heavyweight Championships. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red, Foot Asylum, and Unibet. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge and supervisor, Charles Giles. Timekeeper, Bob Edgeworth. Our 3 judges assigned, scoring on a 10-point must system, will be Victor Laughlin of Scotland, Mark Lyson of England, and John Latham of England. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Ian John Lewis of England. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has arrived. Live from the iconic Church House in Westminster, this is our main event of the evening. Introducing to you first the challenger fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing white with multicolors and weighed in at 18 stone, 6 pounds. Hailing from Putney, London, England, he was a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, and now as a professional, he is undefeated with 11 wins. 10 of his 11 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated former Commonwealth, WBA Continental, and WBA Gold heavyweight champion, Joe, the Juggernaut, Joyce. And his opponent across the ring in his main event, he is the defending champion fighting tonight out of the blue corner, and he comes to the ring wearing black with gray. His official weight, 17 stone, 6 pounds. Hailing from Greenwich, London, England, he is undefeated with 15 wins. 14 of his 15 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the current WBO International, WBC Silver, British, and Commonwealth Heavyweight Champion, Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
I'm the referee. I spoke to you both in the dressing room. I obey my command at all times. You both know the rules. It's them heads, kick the punches up. And when I shout break, you break clean. And remember, defend yourselves at all times. Shake hands.
Steely glare from both men. I don't think either of them blinked, Richie.
No, not indeed.
You can just sense the tension in the air. And who's going to make the better start? That is key.
Seconds out.
Here we go. Joyce, the taller man. Both of them with that quality left-hand lead. Will Dubois do as many people predict and just go in there looking for the big early punch, or will it be more of a chess match?
Well, Joyce has got the slight advantage in terms of reach, a couple of inches more than Dubois, but Dubois seems to have a better jab. I think that's the general view of most people, that Dubois' jab is very good indeed, it's accurate. But what will Joyce do here? Will he just keep coming forward, or will he tend to box at range and try and out-jab Dubois? Interesting stuff.
Wouldn't be a surprise if they just take a look at each other in these early seconds. Dubois, the Olympic silver medalist. Sorry, Joyce, the Olympic silver medalist. Dubois, the man who has learnt it all as a professional.
I think what's important for Joyce here, John Early, he's got to land that jab against Daniel, because he's taking a few risks coming forward here, is Joyce. Most people thought this is how Joyce was going to box anyway on that front foot, but that's the whole reason why Daniel Dubois has a better chance to land in that right hand as Joyce is coming forward. So he's got to be careful, and if he works with his jab, Joyce, he's got to hit the target. He can't afford to miss and fall in.
Joyce doing okay in the early stages of this first round. There's a better jab from Dubois. Heard, I think, the voice of his sister Caroline shouting out from somewhere on the balcony, urging Daniel Dubois on. A little bit of reddening around the face of Dubois already from the accuracy of this left-hand lead of Joyce, who's making a good start.
Yeah, he's boxing well at range at the moment, is Joyce. And that jab to the body is a good shot also. So Dubois just can't get that 1-2 going just yet. And you see, that's a slight mistake. Gets away with it there, does Joyce. And Dubois now sensing he's probably losing the round slightly, and so starts to come forward, trying to land that right hand.
Fascinating open round. And Joyce going well so far. Dubois maybe just waiting for Joyce to commit himself to have the opportunity to land that big right hand. He's not really established his jab as well as you might have expected so far, Richie.
It's clever boxing from Joyce at the moment. He's boxing at distance. He's not coming over the front foot too often, you see, John. And that's limiting. just got that round.
Fascinating. Joyce with the early advantage, and now Dubois comes forward trying to land bigger shots and trying to impose himself maybe physically in this second round.
Yeah, his corner have said, haven't they, most certainly to get closer to Joyce and put him under a little bit of pressure. That's what they've told Daniel Dubois there. It's a faster start to the round for Dubois.
He was certainly very respectful with his approach in the opening 3 minutes, and Joyce's tactics were able to give him the edge. That's a good right hand from Dubois.
Yeah, maybe he's showing a few nerves as well in that opening round, Daniel Dubois. And he's certainly, whatever they've said to him in the corner, he's responded well here. He's upped the work rate a little bit, and he's getting to Joyce a little bit now. How will Joyce react to this now, John?
More purposeful look to Daniel Dubois in the first minute of this second round. No real power shots landed from either man so far. It's been a tactical battle thus far. Joyce just trying to take the rhythm out of Dubois with that left-hand lead.
Well, he started the round better, did Dubois, and that's a better right hand. Just as I said, he's taking his foot off the gas, then he lands a good shot. First reach
to land big shots when they appeared to be clinching, and now these are the first dangerous moments for Joyce.
Yeah, good right hand from Daniel Dubois. Found his range with it. It's when he just takes his foot off the gas and allows then Joyce to come back with those jabs, those peppering jabs, that he may have a few problems, but a good round up to now for Daniel Dubois. He's reacted to his corner most definitely, brought his right hand into play, and they'll be a little bit more pleased.
Looking again for that big chopping right hand, this time just went through thin air. Joyce is not a quick man. He's being urged forward, Dubois, by his corner. They feel that he's really on top here, and Dubois lands with another solid right hand. This time it's Joyce who wants to backpedal.
Yeah, Joyce is just concentrating on keeping the gap now, and that's why he's just moving away and throwing that jab. He knows if he goes forward, if he misses, if he walks onto that right hand from Dubois, it doubles the power up. That's why he's on the outside, just trying to take the sting out of the punch. There was an example there.
Managed to get his gloves up just in time, Joyce, and take the power out of that right hand. Last few seconds, couple of shots to the head from Joyce, but that was a much better round for Dubois.
Back with that right hand. Good round for Dubois.
That was a good round. I want another round like that. Got it? Yeah? Yeah. Take time. Breathe. Now you go and get it. Go on. Way you go.
Trying to keep him settled down. 1 round apiece. Richie's got it at this point as we move into the third. Fireworks are going to come, you can be sure. There's a good right hand from Dubois. He's looking for him now, and another. And Joyce is having to cover up. He's caught by a left hand to the head as well, and the power shots are starting to come in here from Dubois. Martin Bowers said the biggest of oak trees will come if you keep peppering it. Joyce that time. Fascinating fight, and whoever you fancy, you're still going to be thinking your man has got a great chance. Perceived wisdom was that the further this fight went, the more you'd fancy Joyce.
Yeah, I think Dubois has got to move his head just a little bit more. There's reddening on his face. Those are the jabs from Joyce.
That was coming in the first round.
Yeah, but it's the straight 1-2 from Dubois that's causing the big problems for Joe Joyce, especially when he quickens his feet up, moves into range, then throws it with a lot of venom, that combination.
Joe Joyce with the fantastic amateur pedigree. Daniel Dubois had virtually none as a senior amateur, although he has been fighting and training since a very early age. Learnt as a professional, just blowing a bit heavily in there in this third round. He put a lot into that opening stanza.
Yeah, he really went for it, didn't he? And he's feeling the pace a little bit. And Joe Joyce just clawing it back a bit with those jabs.
And he's not called Juggernaut for no reason. He's a big man who just keeps on coming. Dubois telegraphing that right hand a little, and that's a better jab from Dubois. Needs more of those. That ramrod left lead he thought was going to be a big weapon to his advantage. He's not really made it tell, apart from at moments in that second round.
No, he's got a great jab as Dubois, but it's Joe Joyce that's producing the jabs. To be quite honest, it's the right hand counters and the right hand in the attacks with the 1-2 from Dubois. That's his best punches.
Dubois had that flurry at the beginning of this third round, but Joyce has been stronger. But now a couple of decent headshots from Dubois, with the clock ticking down to end this third round. Well, good round. And a good round in the latter stages for Joe Joyce.
Right uppercut there, another right hand, but we know how tough Joe Joyce is, and he had to show his toughness here. He comes through this storm, and then towards the end of the round, that was a little bit low from Dubois. There's that left hook. It was a good attack from Dubois. It was early on in the round. He really went for it, but Joyce come through it, and then he peppered him with the jab. So that's why I gave it an even round. He came back.
Joyce really came back strongly in the middle stages of the round. Showed that renowned strength and power. As we move now into the fourth, and on Rich's card, this fight's absolutely level. 1 round each with 1 level. I think there's an argument that Joyce could have edged that last round, but who knows? 3 judges, they're the ones who will determine.
We know Daniel, he's been 10 rounds before against Kevin Johnson, you know, and he has improved in his stamina, but most people think that if it goes over 5, then the tide will turn for Joyce.
Only just off target with that right uppercut, Dubois. The power is in that right hand of Daniel Dubois, Triple D. That time it was blocked by Joyce, but the left thudded into the solar plexus. That's good from Joyce, doubling up on that left hand lead, and a bit more head movement than they sometimes associate him with.
Yeah, he just made a mistake there. Just launched from too far away with that right hand. Joyce just fell short. Just falls into Daniel Dubois. But Daniel's probably surprised at how accurate that Joyce jab is and how frequent it is. It's always in his face. He's out jabbing Dubois, who has a terrific jab himself. But on this occasion, the jabs are coming from Joyce.
Well, it's a big weapon for Dubois, and it's being taken away from him right now by Joe Joyce. Good accuracy from range from the big man from Putney. Plenty of support for both men in this arena here, set in the historic church house in Westminster. And you can really hear the power of the punches as well as they thud home. Big night for Ian John Lewis, the referee.
Yeah, and another close round this is, John. It really is. Dubois seems to be doing well with the 1-2s when he's throwing them, but again, Joyce just picking up the points. See, that one missed there, but he's picking up the points, Joe Joyce, with these jabs. There's another one.
Daniel Dubois' face is definitely starting to mark up a bit, and that's a testimony to the accuracy of the jab. Good right hand taken well by Joyce, and as he goes back to the corner, you can see the face of Daniel Dubois is really marking up. The left eye, the mouth is a little bit bust up, and he's almost shaking in that corner, Richie, and it looked to me like a little bit of shock at the sort of the power and the accuracy that Joe Joyce is able to produce.
Yeah, he knows he's in a real fight here, and he's being out jabbed at the moment, and as I say that, then he starts to land a couple of good jabs of his own.
Referee a little bit worried, I think. What are we worried about here? Too much fluid on the floor.
Yeah, bit of water in the corner.
I am the referee, as Ian John Lewis says, and he's now happy, so we're underway again. That's better from Dubois. Good jab, followed by the overhand right.
And his eye, it's not closing, but there's a little bit of swelling on that left eye of Dubois. John, he's starting to find that right hand again now. I think he's timing that shot better, especially when Joyce is throwing the jab.
Jimmy Tibbs acting as the cutsman in that corner, vastly experienced. That's in the Joe Joyce corner, and of course we've got Martin Bowers in Daniel Dubois' corner, and it's there that the greatest damage is having to be dealt with.
I think he's being more accurate now with his jab. Both are feeling the pace a little bit.
And he's really having to dig in here and bite on his gum shield, Dubois. More anxious times in these first 4 rounds than in the whole of his career. The Joyce camp were saying that this fight had come too soon for Daniel Dubois. He should have had a Bryant Jennings or somebody of that sort before going to fight somebody of Joe Joyce's stature. That's better from Dubois.
Yeah, he's having a better round here. Dubois is beating Joe Joyce to the punch. On a lot of occasions, cracking right hand there from Dubois.
And testing Joe Joyce's chin. This is a really good round it's turning into for Dubois after a very shaky fourth. And Dubois just wanting to tie him up. And Daniel Dubois, you can see that swelling of the left eye, but he's had a good round.
Good round indeed, big shots going in. But good round for Daniel Dubois.
Well, let's have a listen into the corner. And it is absolutely on a knife edge here as we move now into the 6th round.
Yes, he did, and again, he's starting this round very positively on that front foot and trying to land that right hand over the top.
I love that line from Martin Bowers in that corner when he said, "This is the fight game, right?"
Absolutely, yeah. You know, Martin Bowers very experienced, so he's just reminding Daniel Dubois that this is it. It's
Good
the
little
biggest fight of
right-hand
his career.
counter inside from Joyce there in that exchange. Joyce is using that long reach well. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage and he's making it count.
Daniel Dubois, again, when he lands that right hand jab, just dips his head, just slips to the left with his head and then whips that right hand over. That's a good shot again from Dubois.
Joyce's chin being tested and he takes it though.
Just holding on there. Clever Joyce, took a good shot.
Absolutely level on Richie's scorecard. And we're coming up to the halfway stage of the fight. Is it going to be the fitness and engine and experience of Joe Joyce which is going to prevail? Daniel Dubois is having to eat so many of those jabs.
He's boxing well at range here, Joe Joyce. I think Dubois again, he's slowed his feet down. He's got to quicken his feet up. He's got to close that gap.
And again, that left eye begins to swell more. I wonder how much of a factor that could turn out to be the further the fight goes. The left eye of Daniel Dubois. Good shot from Dubois, nice right hand.
Yeah, a little bit of movement to the side again and finds the target with that right hand, a quality punch.
Referee trying to let the action flow, just telling them to stop holding, letting them fight away out of the clinch without calling break. Well, another interesting round this one, and not a lot between them. Good from range for Joyce. Dubois with one or two quality power shots, but look at the damage to that left eye, Richie. A lot of these rounds have been close. Daniel Dubois with the DDD around his waist. Good right hand again from Dubois. And Joyce walked straight into that. It caught him pretty flush. And an uppercut. And now comes the big toe-to-toe exchange.
Yeah, tremendous work there from Dubois. But will he let Joe Joyce off the hook again? Joe Joyce is teak tough. He comes through it. And you see Daniel, he's exerted a lot of energy again. Will this build up, John, where, you know, he's going to tire himself out? He goes for it. He lands big shots, but he doesn't get the job finished.
Well, he was told to go out there and produce a big round. It was needed. And when he lands those shots, the opponents he's had so far in his career have usually crumbled. Not Joe Joyce. It's reaching the point here. Well, Daniel Dubois' vision is surely beginning to be affected by that swollen left eye.
Yeah, he's producing the better shots, the quality work. The eye-catching stuff is from Dubois. But in between that volume, little jabs here and there, poking in his face from Joyce. And as I say that, Dubois lands a cracking jab.
It's still open for both men, and that's a good combination from Joyce this time. Right hand finding the target. towards that damaged left eye. Did Dubois see it, I wonder? This has been a huge effort from Daniel Dubois here in this round.
Big round. Fitness is going to play a real big part here, John. If he knocks Joe Joyce out, okay, but if Joe Joyce keeps coming through these storms, then towards the end of the contest, he's never been 12 rounds, remember, Daniel Dubois. But he's won this round. This has been a quality round for him.
But he's not got him out of there. He's landed big shots and landed them flush, and Joe Joyce is still in there, spearing him with that left-hand lead. Last few seconds of another dramatic round, and a round which I'm sure you're going to say that Daniel Dubois has won, Richie.
Yeah.
Is how we've got it here at ringside. That's how Rich is scoring it at the moment in Daniel Dubois' favour. Here in the 8th round. 12-rounder, of course, with British, Commonwealth and the vacant European titles at stake. Somehow it feels like more than that's at stake.
Yeah, it's a proper British Commonwealth European title fight. I remember being brought up on them as a kid, watching the Wednesday night sports nights, Harry Carpenter days, these type of contests.
Ian John Lewis not happy at some of the work that Daniel Dubois was producing there. Dubois jabbing so much more effectively than he was early on.
Yeah, he's having to really work, isn't he now, Dubois? Just to keep Joe Joyce off balance, if anything.
Younger man by 12 years, Daniel Dubois.
Nice little shot, sharp, short right hand from Joe Joyce there.
Fireworks from either side could still be decisive. Is the fight going to, against all expectations, go the distance? The 8th round from here on. Most people were thinking this could be Joe Joyce territory. On Richie's card, he's trailing, so he needs a big finish to the fight. And for the second time in the round, Dubois told off about illegal tactics.
Yeah, just a low shot again, little left hook downstairs, but it was low. Ian John Lewis doing a good job there, telling Dubois to cut it out. And again, probably the more work, the volume's coming from Joyce again. But it's what you prefer. Do you prefer those quality shots?
Just wonder if Dubois maybe taken his foot off the gas a bit in this round, having put so much into the last.
Yeah, he's just been outworked a little bit here.
Both men having their moments and both landing big shots right up to the bell. Hard one to score. For Daniel Dubois between rounds every time as they try to work away on that swelling, and Richie's got it by just 1 point in favour of Daniel Dubois. And I tell you what, that third round which Richie scored level, who knows, it might be that it is absolutely dead level at this point. Joyce still up on his toes and still looking as though he's got plenty in the tank. Good jab.
Well, I said in the pre-fight program that we did yesterday that if Joyce is going to win this contest, he's got to do things differently. He's got to revert back to that in and out stuff, and that's what he's done tonight. He's boxed quite clever, I think, Joyce, on the outside. Most people thought he was just going to march forward, but you know, he hasn't won an Olympic silver medal for nothing. He has got a good boxing brain, and he's used it tonight. He's boxing at distance, and yes, I think Dubois is still very dangerous. But he's done what his opponent didn't think he was going to do. He stayed at range.
Good jabs by Joyce. Boxing well here in this 9th round. The Olympic silver medalist, who to many people's eyes who watched that Olympic final in Rio, he was very unlucky not to come away with the gold.
Yeah, absolutely. I commentated on it. Desperately unlucky.
Is it going to be his night?
And that's probably suiting Dubois, if anything. I think Joe Joyce himself has just took his foot off the gas slightly, and that's probably favoured Daniel Dubois. As I say that, nice 1-2 from Joyce.
Not doing a lot though, Dubois, is he? Waiting for Joyce to commit himself, looking for the opportunity to launch one of those big overhand right hands, maybe.
Again, though, Joyce moving to his right, he's moving away from the shot. There, as I speak, then he just takes the sting out of that because he's moving away. His movement is better, you see. Obviously, he risks walking onto a left hook, but Daniel hasn't really thrown that. He hasn't threatened with that shot. It's the right hand that he's really looking for. So with Joyce moving to the right, he's moving away from it, and it's just taking the sting out of it, John.
It's a better left-hand lead from Dubois that time. But here comes Joyce again, fighting for the full 3 minutes of the round, right the way up to the bell, and finishing strongly, and Dubois absorbing some punishing shots in the last few seconds of that round, and you saw there. But he is indeed just 3 rounds away, and on Richie's card now, absolutely level. And I tell you what, I've got it just edging to Joe Joyce. It is that sort of fight. It is very close, but Joyce looks the stronger and looks the more sprightly as we enter the 10th.
I think Dubois has got to work a little bit harder, John. Yes, there are flashes of what he can do, and we all know that the power he's got, but he's probably not working hard enough, and he's just being outworked a little bit. Oh
dear, it's the left eye, and he's gone down. He's gone down with a jab right on that damaged left eye, and down he goes, and it could be that it's all over right here. He's had enough, he doesn't want any more, and Joe Joyce, by stoppage, is the new British, Commonwealth and European champion. We asked whether that damaged left eye was going to be a decisive factor for Daniel Dubois, and so it proved. Joe Joyce, with the accuracy of the left-hand lead, has bossed this fight in the closing stages. After round 6, he came on strong, and Joyce is the man who has those big opportunities maybe next year.
Unbelievable. I can't believe what I've just witnessed there. the way he went down. Obviously, I think it was from a shot where it just look at his eyes completely closed. Did it close literally as that shot was landed and he couldn't see out of it and thought, I just can't see my opponent? That must have been the situation there.
I think it was
extraordinary.
I think it was just a left-hand lead.
So there, look, he gets one in the eye. Now he can't see. He goes down. It's all over.
Joe Joyce did his trademark celebratory vault, and his supporters, there's a few of them, his family members up on the balcony, are going absolutely bonkers. Here's the celebratory flip, and the big underdog. He was 3-1 against winning this. Didn't look like it.
No, but he's boxed a clever contest, hasn't he, Joe Joyce? Everyone thought he was just going to walk forward. For most of this contest, he stayed on the outside and just peppered him with the jab, and he's boxed very, very clever. But that's probably where his Olympic pedigree comes into it as well. He has got a good boxing brain, and he's used it. But it was very close. I didn't have it even Steven. So it was a very, very close fight. But the general consensus was that if it went over 4 or 5 rounds, then the tide would turn and it would be for Joe Joyce. But that's just an extraordinary ending, the way it's ended there, John.
It was a wee bit longer than that, wasn't it? It was kind of after about the 7th that it was all Joe Joyce from there. He couldn't see properly. The tank was increasingly looking as though it was pretty much empty with Daniel Dubois, and Joe Joyce just kept on coming as he promised he would. And he said to him, you are going to have to respect your elders. And he certainly does now.
Yeah, unbelievable, and a good performance. And Dubois, Dubois young, he's going to come again. And I'm sure that if he hadn't got that injury, of course, he would have just continued. But if he can't see out of that eye, then it was inevitable that he had to call it a day.
He's going to be bitterly disappointed. There were points early in the fight where he was almost shaking, almost with shock in the corner at what was coming at him from Joe Joyce, and also the fact that he was landing the big shots and they weren't putting him away.
Well, 2 or 3 times he really went for it, didn't he, as if he tried to knock Joe Joyce out. But Joe Joyce weathered the storm every time. And can you blame him?
Well, had that not happened, it had almost reached the stage where you'd be wondering whether or not the referee was going to step in to stop it, because when you can't see, there is a danger, of course, of serious damage happening. So it is victory for Joe Joyce, and here is Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 36 seconds of round number 10. Our referee in charge, Ian John Lewis, reaches the count of 10. Therefore, your winner by way of count out. And now the new British, Commonwealth, and European heavyweight champion, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce.
Fair play. He came here at 35 and produced the performance of his life. Bitter disappointment for Daniel Dubois. He can perhaps come again, he surely will, but for Joe Joyce, 2021 looks very, very exciting indeed. And here's the moment he said would be his. He said, I'm going to get those belts, and I am going to show that I am number one and that I am better than Daniel Dubois, and that tonight is what he's done.